Hey there, it's the Machine of Nonsense, episode 130, and we're talking not E3. We got a bunch of video game showcases, and we got to talk about them. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by Kayla.
Hey, hey.
And we've got Mike on the pod.
Discord's not running well. Hello.
He only sort of sounded like a robot in that one. But yeah, so episode 130 is going to be all about all of the showcases we just got from, we got a PlayStation showcase, we got Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest, we got a Capcom showcase, or at least Capcom thought so, an Ubisoft showcase, and a bunch of others. Wholesome Direct, PC Game. Everyone's doing showcases. It's their answer to E3 being canceled. So we're going to talk about everything we saw. I've got a list here in front of me of 15 games that I thought really popped. Over 300 games have been either announced or shown in the last week and a half, week to 10 days in all of these showcases. I thought 15 of them looked pretty interesting. How about you, Mike? How long's your list?
I don't know if I could have found 15.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, we'll discuss my 15 and see if there's any overlap or anything.
Yeah.
Maybe there's underlap. I don't know. Kayla, you didn't get to see every single showcase, but from what you did see, you got to see the Xbox showcase, most of Game Fest, I think, at this point.
I didn't watch Game Fest, but I've seen some of the games that were there.
Right. What did you think overall of PlayStation Showcase? Also, you got to see that.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see PS Showcase? Oh, I thought you did. Man, well,
I've
of the 5 games you saw, what did you think?
You showed me, hey, these are the ones I thought were pretty cool looking, and I agree. Most of them do look pretty cool looking.
Nice. Well, it's good to have curation, you know? So, Mike, you said probably fewer than 15 total games out of all the showcases really popped for you. Do you have a showcase that did better than any of the other ones? I thought some were... I mentioned in the opening, Capcom was real weak, I thought. And then it kind of went up from there.
They're like the best studio in the world right now, but they still haven't figured out this showcase stuff.
Right?
Honestly, people were really hot on Xboxes. I wasn't. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was as good as their previous two, honestly. They had fucking Silk Song last year. Like, I don't know.
Like a 2-second clip.
Hey, it was something. I thought Keighley kind of brought it, but way better than he has. I thought that showcase was just kind of quick. He can kind of handle that Taco Bell joke that he did. Like, I don't know. Not a lot of people can pull that off. He did it pretty well. He's getting good at this host thing. And the Nick Cage thing worked way better than any other kind of celebrity cameo thing he's had. That was pretty cool. And that Rebirth trailer might have been like, that's up for like trailer of the summer kind of thing. That was really neat.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's on the list here. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so yeah, I give it to Keighley this year. I take the knee.
Oh, nice. This is about third time doing Summer Game Fest for him, I think, or is it fourth?
Yeah.
I
think third.
Third. Yeah. Yeah, it's improved, I think, every time out. You mentioned Nick Cage. I was floored. I text Kayla immediately, oh my God, they got Nick Cage. And I thought it was going to be another Al Pacino at the Game Awards, just like kind of confused older man talks about video games. But like, I don't know, Nick Cage was like charming and interesting. Like he seemed like, okay, yeah, I'm going to get in. I probably, like, he got into the role, I think, and maybe he might have even played this game or plans to play this game a little bit. Dead by Daylight, we should mention. He was on there for Dead by
That's
Daylight.
why he was there. Yes.
Yeah,
That's not in your 15, Eric?
not in my 15. No, not in my wheelhouse. But Nick Cage would be in my 15. I think like just his stage presence was really good. I thought like that really worked. In terms of celebrities getting like Jeff Keighley's known for getting a lot of people on his stage and bombing for the most part, like the Rocky City stuff last year and Al Pacino and even like as much as The Rock. Oh God, Dwayne Johnson and even like
Enjoy your gaming.
Even when like Kojima's been a part of these things, it's been a little awkward. Like, I got a podcast coming up. Like, check out my podcast. I'm Kojima, but no, Nick Cage. I think
he had the longest time on stage too. Like he was up there for a good 5 minutes.
Did you see apparently there's some footage of him like leaving the stage where I think Keighley tried to like give him a handshake and he like it was an awkward kind of exchange. I haven't looked it up yet, but I was hearing there's some, it wasn't during the live presentation because they kind of like cut away and just showed the game, but apparently there's some pictures of it or whatever. I don't know if Nick Cage did the, I'm not going to give you the handshake kind of thing. But, Game Fest was good. I thought Ubisoft really, really did well. I really liked their presentation. A lot of the stuff that they showed was really good. We got a couple new things, we knew AC Mirage was coming, but we got kind of a deep dive into that, and I'm intrigued by that game. Got a big one for your game draft on there, so we'll talk about that. I guess I can start on my list. You've got a list as well, Mike, maybe for things that kind of stood out. When we can,
I do, yeah,
we can kind of go back and forth a little bit, comment on what we liked, what we thought. I had to give Capcom at least a little bit of support here. The one thing in their showcase that did pop for me was Dragon's Dogma 2. Never played the first one. Don't really know like the world or anything like that, but we watched. I liked it in the showcase, and then showed it to Kayla this morning. The kind of they showed the trailer, and then they did like a little 5-minute kind of developer dive into it of some of the mechanics and everything else, and it just looks like a cool Souls-like, maybe like more of a budget Souls-like almost, like not quite up to the Elden Ring or something, but like in that vein, with some cool, interesting mechanics. They showed off like the co-op. It's not actual multiplayer co-op, but you get pawns that you can bring into the battle, up to 3 additional kind of AI companions, and I love AI companions. Did Dragon's Dogma do anything for you at all?
Yeah, I've always heard like that first game is kind of cult classic status, especially with its combat. Like I've heard it has a super deep, cool magic system, and I've heard the pawn system's really cool. I'm kind of just interested in anything Capcom's putting out these days. Well, maybe not everything, because they had some stuff that kind of they did some deep fake on me with some Onimusha.
Kunitsu Gama, Path of the Goddess, you mean?
Yeah. But Dogma 2, people are hyped, man. That trailer looked good. I was shocked by how quickly they've kind of been able to really show it since they've announced it. And I think that's a good pick, a solid pick at 15.
We didn't get a release date or anything, even like a window. I don't think was given. I think the speculation is 2024. But yeah, I don't even think we got anything.
That seems reasonable. That to me, I thought it was going to be a 25 game because they kind of revealed it with a T-shirt. They didn't reveal it with like a teaser trailer or anything, but they can make that. They can make games in that engine pretty quick. So they got the tech.
What did you think about that like deep dive we watched this morning, Kayla, where they showed like some of the physics stuff in it?
Yeah, it reminded me of like a Elder Scrolls Skyrim world.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a Khajiit. That's
Yeah.
the main, like, so I like what Eric said, like a budget kind of version of that.
Yeah. Yeah, Capcom hasn't missed in a while. We'll see about Exoprimal coming up pretty soon, but
I've even heard cool things about that game though. Like, I don't know. People have seemed like it's decent.
that story trailer was a lot. That was something. What did you have on your list, Mike?
I have that game Jusant,
Jusant. Yes, we share that.
which looks, I forget who's the developer.
Don't nod.
Oh, right. That's like the Life is Strange developer, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to see what, like, that's like a Telltale adventure game. And this is like Sable meets Journey, meet like you're rock climbing everywhere up this weird, like, vertical cities built into the mountains and shit. And
maybe like Last Guardian vibes a little bit without the companion aspect, you know?
Yeah. But it looks like you are literally, it's not like climbing like Zelda. You're having to like set up your shit, like your fucking ropes and all of that nonsense. And just looks really interesting.
Yeah. Puzzly kind of climbing. Like it seems like it's going to be
having to like look at your terrain and figure out how am I going to get over there kind of stuff. That could be really cool.
Yeah, that looked good. That's fall 2023, and that's coming to Game Pass. So that was definitely on my list as well. I mentioned a game for your draft. We got a release date for Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, December 7th of this year.
Yeah,
they're gonna hit that date, and you're gonna get those.
I hope so.
I thought that game looked real pretty.
Yeah, I was shocked by the first person of it. When they announced that game it was just like a CG trailer. In my mind, I instantly thought 3D action game. But yeah, it's a Far Cry, a very pretty Far Cry. I think it'll be enough difference from that series for it to shine on its own. I hope it's like an 88 or something. You know, that's what.
Just an 88. Oh, okay. Yeah, just an 88. Kayla, did you think it looked like an 88?
No, not quite that high. Maybe I'm just crossing my fingers, but
people love Avatar. That's what I'm hoping for. Just the Avatar bump, you know.
I liked it, but I don't want to lose.
It's strictly that. Like the quality of the trailer doesn't matter. It's just the draft.
I liked it. I think it'll be good.
Yeah. We played what, Far Cry 5? Is that the most recent one? Played a little bit of that. Thought that was pretty good. That was the only Far Cry we've ever really checked out, and that was pretty for the time too. Last gen, and I remember them doing real good stuff with like water and fire and stuff like that. And I think between like the beautiful foliage and stuff on Pandora, and if they can get water and fire and those type of elements going, at very least it's going to be a good looking game. Ubisoft's always done a good job on that, like with the Assassin's Creed and the Far Cry series and stuff like that. So yeah, I was impressed. I thought that game was kind of just lost out there because it seemed like they wanted it to maybe come out with the movie and everything else. It was announced quite a bit of time ago, and you were like, okay, yeah, this movie's coming out eventually, and then we'll get this game kind of in line with that. And no, that movie's finally out of theaters, I think. So. I mentioned AC Mirage as well, Assassin's Creed Mirage, also in that Ubisoft showcase. I am among those who like want this more old school type of Assassin's Creed, where it's not a 150-hour RPG anymore, and that's what they're saying. Yeah, this is like a smaller. I think they've even said it's a little cheaper. I think it's a $50 game as opposed to like a full $70 release. And I think they haven't really given a how long to beat as of yet on that, but I think they're going for like those older games were more 20-hour experiences, and you could obviously do a lot of optional stuff and go and discover flags and stuff like that out in the open world, but those the heyday of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and even Assassin's Creed 3 and stuff like that, like I'm itching for something like that, and this seems like we're getting that. And it's only I think it is cross-gen as well, so I think it's also coming out on the last gen stuff. So it might not be a powerhouse of a game, but I think the loop of those old school Assassin's Creed was really cool, and I think now you can do more than you could have done in the PS3 days. So
yeah,
I'm excited for that one.
It definitely gave me original trailer Assassin's Creed vibe. Like, I don't know, just if they could pull off what that first trailer was, just that idea of dipping into a crowd, blending in and taking out a person in front of 200 people and getting away with it. Like, I don't know. Maybe this one can do that.
Yeah. We're getting that October 12th. Making for a very, very busy October and September. It's going to be very busy. What did you think of Outlaws, Star Wars Outlaws?
I didn't see too much. I didn't see it on the Ubisoft stuff where they did the deep dive. I just saw the trailer that was at Xbox, right?
Yeah.
But I've heard a ton about it. Like, people seem really high on it on all the pods I'm listening to and stuff. So, what did you guys think of that one?
Yeah, Kayla, I want to know your feeling. No lightsabers, it seems. No force. It's just on the ground kind of smuggler Star Wars. What do you think of that?
I think that a lot of what's fun in Star Wars, of course, is the Force and the lightsabers, and you go from having, Jedi Survivor going right into Outlaws, like, so close together. Might not be exactly what I wanted, but it looks fun. It looks interesting. It looks like a shooter. It looks like a, grab and run kind of thing. So I'll play it.
Yeah, they played off of some of so there's like Grand Theft Auto elements of you have like a wanted level, depending on your actions. So that's interesting.
Call it Red Dead Redemption.
There you go. Okay, I'm into that. That's fine. The better of the franchises from Rockstar, right, in my opinion. I'm fine with that. Yeah. So you've got the Red Dead Redemption series of wanted levels, and you also have some decision making. Like, they feed into each other, like depending on your actions, like how you speak to people, the things you might do. They showed in the trailer and some of the deep dives of a conversation with like an Imperial officer where you could pull your blaster on the officer because they're trying to like extort you or whatever. Or I think you can just like let them, like probably lose some credits or something, not get the big reward that you were going to get, but not be wanted, not be, chased off of this planet. And in the trailer they showed it was like, okay, I'm going to choose to hold them up and take all my credits, and then I'm going to be wanted. And it was pretty cool how they showed it, because you're in like a cantina or whatever else, but as soon as you made that decision, now there's like screens that have your like wanted poster up and stuff like that in the cantina, and you're running out, and then people in the street are saying, oh, I think that's whatever. That's the smuggler, and
Like my bounty.
Kay Vess is the character's name.
Yeah, she's got some interesting hair. Kayla, what did you think of her do?
I don't care about her hair, but her little companion is pretty cute.
Heard a lot of love for the companion. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cute. It seems like you get to command the companion to go and like press this button or, make some noise over this way so I can sneak past kind of stuff.
Even attack. I think they didn't show it doing an attack, but they showed like an option that like a slider or something that came up of
you could select this person.
Yeah, to like attack with the thing. So that I think that's really interesting because I really liked BD1 in Survivor. I think like having that companion's really cool, but BD1 pretty much only does like, I'm going to unlock stuff. I'm going to scan stuff. Not a lot of like combat options.
Give you your health.
Right, yeah. So having a companion that could maybe help in combat or even like help in distracting or taking out a weaker enemy or something so that you can continue to be stealthy because it seems like there's a stealth component to the game and stuff. I think that could be really cool. Set between Empire and Jedi is like the time frame of the game.
Yeah, it was cool to see like that Carbonite Han Solo and stuff in that CG trailer. Eric, I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
Is this might be a what is that, a moratorium or something for Dash Rendar? Are we never getting a Dash Rendar game? This seemed like you just tee it up to put your boy Dash in a smuggler game, but
that's the big twist. Kay Vess is his estranged daughter.
Be like I thought it was gonna be like Mission Impossible Mask. Dash Rendar.
Those are the alternate endings. It's like depending on how many times you've been wanted, you become Dash Rendar's daughter, or if you played, and played really stealthily, you are actually Dash Rendar, and you just pull off a mask. Yes. My uncle who works at Ubisoft told me that from Japan.
But a more Andor style kind of game, I'm totally up for. Maybe not the same exact tone, but just kind of that boots on the ground, no Jedi bullshit involved. Could be really cool in that universe.
So close together, so many games.
Well, now the Star Wars license has kind of gone.
Opened up.
It was exclusive for quite some time. EA had an exclusive license and kind of did nothing with it or did very little with it, and then now it's the floodgates are opening. So we shall see. Does the world need more Star Wars? Star Wars Outlaws 2024 on that one. What else for you, Mike?
Baby Steps, which was at Devolver's show, I believe, and it is from Bennett Foddy, who made Guap, that like weird track running game where you had to control every limb with the keys and stuff, and also Getting Up, I think, or something like Getting Over It, I think, is his other game where you're like a man in a trapped in like a cauldron, and with only your torso, and you have like this sledgehammer, and you climb this mountain with just control, like you're flinging yourself with the sledgehammer and stuff, and that game looks really cool. And also the developer of Ape Out, which was this really cool like jazz soundtrack mixed with like you playing as a gorilla trying to bust out of a testing facility. It was really cool. But anyway, Baby Steps is like you're controlling this like man-child type character, lives with his parents type thing. He's in his 30s or something, and he finds a portal to like a magical kind of world or something, I thought, and you are controlling his limbs, kind of Guap, but in a 3D plane, kind of Octodad kind of style. It seemed like where you are fumbling around, bumbling into things, and then he kind of like bumps into someone's cool like rock stacking thing that he made or something, and then he has this awkward conversation where he tries to talk his way out of like tries to lie about knocking it over, and it just looked like it had the humor that I like mixed with just like, I don't know, weird cool gameplay, and it was one of the best things I saw, I thought.
I'm so bad at those like multi-limb games, your gang beasts or your mount your friends.
Oh, yeah.
But they're always funny. They are always like it reminds me a lot of like the funniest parts of Tears of the Kingdom that can often be very frustrating, but like trying to physics my way out of something or attach two things and they attach weird and then they fall down a hill or something, like it at least makes for some good comedy. Always. Yeah, I think generally speaking that game was really well. I think everyone coming out of like Game Fest was really raving about that one. Bennett Foddy. I don't think I've played any of those games.
I tried Guap. It was like a browser game, and that's one of those like, okay, either you're really gonna get into it. I think Josh really got into Guap for a hot second back in the day, like because you would keep your score. You're trying to like do a 100-meter dash, but you're running like a giraffe, like on fire or something. It's it wasn't for me. That game.
What did you think of Sandland from Akira Toriyama's Sandland? I don't think he made the game, but
game of the show.
Okay,
for me.
Okay,
I saw it and I just saw those robot designs, those vehicle designs in this cool 3D space, and one of those robots looked just like Robo, I swear, from Chrono Trigger. So I was completely sold on it. I never heard of this series until recently. They're going to do the anime as well, which I'm psyched for. Yeah, and it just looks really cool. Like it kind of looks like a PS3 game at time, but I don't care. Like that art style is enough to sell me.
Yeah, coming from Bandai Namco, so we know the pedigree there, and
it's like a 3D open world desert kind of game. It seems
Borderlands.
Yeah, it has a kind of a cell shaded style for sure, and with just I don't know, it all fit together perfect for me.
I think it looks like it's a ton of vehicular combat, and like you're piloting the mechs, you're piloting the weird kind of steampunk kind of stuff from it feels very Dragon Ball, like just very like original Dragon Ball. Even the little characters, like a little Goku, it seems, and it seems like that's another aspect of it. You are playing this little being who seems to be super powered in some kind of way, but not insane Dragon Ball Z, blowing up planets and stuff. More like, oh, I still need to jump in a mech and fight this Red Ribbon Army kind of scenario.
Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah, I think that one looked. We didn't get any sort of date on that one, but looked like a lot of gameplay in that trailer. So I don't know.
I haven't heard anything. I didn't see it at any of the shows. I don't know which show it was even at, but I remember seeing it last year, and that's Cocoon. Did you guys see that?
Last year.
No, I know it was getting a lot of buzz. I was hearing all about it on a lot of podcasts, but I don't know what show it was on. Wholesome? Maybe the Wholesome Direct?
Man, I had that on in the background, and I don't remember seeing Cocoon, but because they had like 80 games at that motherfucker. Like
there
no
were
joke.
A lot of very long, I mentioned all the big ones, your Capcoms and Ubisoft and whatnot, but there was the Wholesome Game Show, there was the PC Gamer Show, there was the Future Game Show, and Devolver. You mentioned Devolver. They only showed like 4.
Right.
Day of the Devs was another one where they showed a couple things. Over 300 games were shown during Game Fest. It's pretty nuts.
During the summer of gaming.
The summer of gaming,
they're all like
yes.
Game Fest is one thing that's in all of this.
Right.
Yeah, and Keely's trying to fucking Palpatine his way over all this shit.
I mean, no one is stopping him. It doesn't seem like anyone, like, I'm assuming, I mean, maybe he's got a million cease and desist letters from, like, Capcom and PlayStation and everything.
I mean, it's nice to have everything in one place and have, like, okay, here's what it is. This is where you go to find it, and I don't have to search for it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the only thing that and Damon Hatfield from IGN had mentioned, he said, like, because it was about a 2-hour show overall with Game Fest. He said, like, if it was just an hour of like back to back to back in the same way that like kind of Xbox's showcase was, and you cut out the like here's this like mobile game that is getting some DLC, or the new season of whatever Fortnite, you know, that kind of stuff, and just show new or updates to like you know, things we never got a trailer for, new stuff, and it could be perfect. Like, it could be the perfect kind of, because you're still getting all those other showcases. You know, you're still getting, there's like 10 showcases in this like 1 week of events overall.
Yeah. So. We haven't talked about Metal Gear Delta.
No, we mentioned it
so long ago.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, on the last episode. Yeah, previous episodes.
If we're including PlayStation in this, then Delta's my number one, even over Sandlands. I'm really eager to see what that turns out to be, of course.
Really? Okay, I thought you were a little light on that one. I thought. Interesting.
I'm hyped on it, but I'm still it's just a mystery. Like, I don't know. I still don't have a grasp on who's making it and what. We didn't see anything really, but a quick little teaser. So I need to see what the game is going to look like. Is it in Fox Engine? What is it? Hearing about them using the original fucking VO and not re-recording it. I don't know. Just has me kind of like, they're not really putting 100% effort into this thing.
Sure.
And or at least giving a good reason to do this. Like, are you not changing anything? Like, I don't know. Like, there's really no vision behind it. Just kind of like, but Final Fantasy VII Remake has a vision. Like, they waited until they had a really good reason to make that thing, and this kind of might be a cash grab remake kind of thing. So. I don't know.
We'll see. I have high hopes, I guess, just because I think that game needs a remake, and I want more Metal Gear. I want all those games to be remade and be able to, not 5. 5's fine. I want 5 to be finished. And then and the rest to be remade. But yeah. What was the Prince of Persia game, the Lost Crown. That really popped for me. January 18th of 24, so not too long on that one. Metroidvania, kind of like stylish action combat too, like more
Metroid Dread style.
Yeah, definitely a lot of like combos and parrying. Like, it seemed like a pretty deep parry system, and big bosses, and the platforming looked intense. Like, the trailer is just like moving. That is a fast moving game, or at least it looks like it. Kayla, you mentioned the art style was maybe a little not new gen, not next gen.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you.
A little Fortnite, a little mobile. I mean, from afar, the like platform stuff looks fine to me, but when it's like a cutscene, I'm not super into it.
I didn't like it either. I always I loved when Ubisoft was using that UbiArt engine like 10 years ago. They did the Rayman games in that, Child of Light, Valiant Hearts. And I always thought, like, man, a Prince of Persia game in that would really look cool. And yeah, this just looked kind of generic to me, like Kayla said. I did not like the art style, but from people who played it, they said it was like one of their best favorite games. It felt great.
It
So,
looks like a game that would be very hard for me. Platformers are not so much for
mm,
me. I mean, they can be. It's hit or miss, but it looks challenging. It looks very challenging from what they show.
If it's the quality, you
definitely
mentioned Metroid
twitchy
Dread.
gameplay. Yeah, yeah, Dread's no joke. Did they mention like how the rewind mechanic is going to work in that? Is he going to have that in this
That
game?
might have been like in some of the deeper, like behind closed doors kind of stuff in the what they did with the developer and stuff, talking about you. It looks like you can make copies of yourself and use like a rewind function like that. They showed that a little bit. They showed like a blue version of yourself kind of doing something, maybe rewinding that. But so I think it's in there, but I don't know how deep it is, or might just be a section of the game or something. It didn't seem like that was like the primary gameplay mechanic or something like that. Because you're not the prince in this one. You are one of his elite guards, the Immortals. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You're actually, I think you're looking for the prince. I think is the game, like
You want
the
to
conceit.
rescue him, the lost crown.
Yes, I think so.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
that's neat. Can I bring up something else? How do you guys feel about these these multiple announcement kind of thing, like spreading out their own announcements? So like Mortal Kombat was at PlayStation, but we didn't see gameplay till Game Fest, or
don't do that. Don't you wish it was all in
Ubisoft
one
did the
place?
same thing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just felt like really trying to spread thin. Like everyone wanted to have like more show than they needed at some point.
Give me a normal flow. Like I want a good steady pace, not like a zigzag.
Yeah.
I think it's got to fit in the show. Like for me, so I'm a big fan. Like Capcom did it, even though their games weren't great. And Ubisoft did it as well, where you had, here's a trailer, and here's someone come out and describe what you saw a little bit, dig in for just like 5 minutes into here's what this means. Like I think Dragon's Dogma did it pretty well in the Capcom show, where they're like, okay, here's what you saw, and here's our co-op mechanic, and blah blah blah. In like the Xbox showcase, that was just like trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer with kind of no context and stuff, and I dug it. I thought it was pretty good. But if you showed MK in that, and then just gameplay, just a trailer kind of thing, and then didn't give any sort of context to like that it's a reboot, or that like anything like that, might get lost in the shuffle. Like it might not really tell you what that game is.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I thought that worked well with Ed Boon coming on stage and explaining, hey, this is happening. Cameos work this way. I thought, well, I guess we'll talk about probably maybe the game of the show, Alan Wake 2. I thought that worked really well. Kind of, I always enjoyed like, okay, I get to see Sam Lake here, and he's going to sprinkle a little bit, and then he's going to be over here, and we're really going to go deeper into what's going on with this game. So for me, I guess it just boiled down to, if I don't like the game, I don't want to keep seeing it over and over, kind of thing. Maybe I don't know. So
and it was one of the weird parts of like Capcom show. And another thing, just to shit on Capcom more, is like they re-showed some of like the exact same trailers that we had already gotten in other showcases and stuff. Like Xbox showed that Path of the Goddess game, and then Capcom showed the exact same footage again in their showcase. So that's a little weird. I don't want that ever, kind of. I don't want to see the exact same stuff. If you're gonna give me some kind of context, sure, I guess. But yeah, no, that was weird. Alan Wake 2 though, yeah, people are raving about that one. I am that's probably my most anticipated game of the rest of the year. We're getting that in October. I was actually a little underwhelmed with what they showed.
Oh.
I've been more buoyed by what I've been hearing, posts like in podcasts and stuff, like because I guess there was like a behind closed doors demo where they didn't let you play it, but like the developer played it and kind of you could watch kind of scenario. And the reviews have been off the charts for that, and everything coming from that it's more survival horror than the first one. It's more of a detective game than the first one. Two protagonists that you can swap between at certain story elements, and you know their stories intertwine and make sense together. The only thing I need is Jesse Faden just showing up at some point and just connect these universes, and I'm sold. Game of the year for me. But yeah, what did you think of Alan Wake though?
Come again?
What did you think of Alan Wake?
Oh, sorry. I thought it showed really well. After I got to see what Remedy does like forever now. After Control, I love Control, and I've kind of liked Remedy for a long time. Control was the one that knocked it out of the park for me, but I was a Max Payne guy back in the day, and yeah, this looks great. I like the character shifting stuff. I think they're gonna nail that between Alan Wake and she's got a funny
Anderson, I believe.
Saga, yeah, that's a good name. I like that one. Yeah, sign me up. It's another one of those games that's in a clogged October, and I don't know how it's gonna do. I'm eager to see that because like I think Spider-Man's like 3 days after it or before it or something like that, and we've already mentioned a couple of things, and but I'm really happy that people seemed really jazzed about the game who got to see it, and I'm rooting for that developer all the way. They're kind of they've always been kind of floated around like, oh, Microsoft's going to buy them, this company's going to buy them, and they've stayed stuck to their guns and just kind of figured it out, and hats off to them.
Yeah, and I think the only kind of downside of Control was some of the performance issues, because that game is doing a lot, like a ton of physics stuff. You're flying, you're doing so much. And Alan Wake's a little bit more of a grounded kind of thing. I mean, it's a survival horror franchise and everything else. I think like probably will perform a lot better because you're not flying, I assume, and all of that. Like if they can just really get down the tone, the creepiness, the weirdness, like the like kind of comedic aspect of like a lot of Control is very funny and weird in that way. And that first Alan Wake was pretty like comical in a lot of ways.
So you want to see Jesse in the game? I want to see Dr. Darling pop up somewhere in the game. That's what I want to see.
Yes, of course. Oh,
I don't know that we'll get either of those, and if we do, it'll be a small. I think it's gonna be small.
They're super connected, so they're not shy about showing that. Like if they don't, that's fine. It's just like it would be really cool to just I don't know, see some shade of Control in there somewhere.
I think there'll be some. I'm hoping for
that too. Like I think in Control originally the only tie-in was just a note before the big DLC and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So if we just get like a note that's, you know, like one of those redacted like mission reports or something like that, even I love those. It'll be Game of the Year for me. Alan Wake 2, calling it.
I'm almost more interested in. I said I want to see Jesse. I want to see more Control, but I'm almost more interested in them furthering just that whole connected universe with Max Payne, with like Quantum Break and stuff. Like I'm hoping there's like some Easter eggs just kind of strewn between that. That's what I'm really hoping for.
If the only Max Payne Easter egg is having Sam Lake be a character in the game, you know, the original face of Max Payne, and then that's fine. That's fine too.
And he's playing Alex Casey, who in Alan Wake is like his most famous literary character. Like he's the detective that he wrote, who everyone, when they were playing Alan Wake, was like, oh, it's just Max Payne. Like it's just, we can't use the name because at that point the rights were like weird or whatever, owned by someone else.
Rockstar had it.
Right, yeah. So it was like, we can't say Max Payne, we're gonna say Alex Casey, and now I think they're kind of retconning it all into a thing. So yeah, let's kind of, I got a couple rapid fire more that I'll mention, and we can kind of because we have some business that we need to attend to by the end of this pod. So spoilers for that. So yeah, quick for me on my list, Payday 3. I've never played Payday 1 or 2, but coming to Game Pass in September, in that loaded September, and it looked fun. It looked like one of those, one of those Left 4 Dead style co-op shooters. And I like the idea of heists. Love heist movies and stuff. Coming to Game Pass. Let's, maybe the three of us can be the three in Payday. Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty, September. Big DLC, so much so that like the base game is getting a complete revamp to like match up with the new mechanics in Phantom Liberty. So even if you don't get the DLC and just have the base game of Cyberpunk, you're still getting a huge update as part of this without a purchase. So that's really intriguing. And then the Phantom Liberty stuff with Idris Elba and everything is really exciting. I know Aaron has played, I think he said 5 times through Cyberpunk or something, and yeah, now he's getting a big old DLC and update. Clockwork Revolution, which is just BioShock Infinite, apparently.
BioClock.
Yeah, that looked real cool. What did you think of that one, Mike?
It looked like BioShock. It looked so much like BioShock Infinite. Like, people have even like put the trailers up against each other, and they're like 1-to-1 in a lot of spots. Like,
that's Daisy Fitzroy, right? Her Daisy Fitzroy or something like that.
Yeah, there's like
that was her. There's even Daisy Fitzroy in it.
So they're not being shy, and hey, if 2K is not going to give us a BioShock game anytime soon, someone else can. Hell yeah.
Will there be a lighthouse in Clockwork Revolution?
No, it's going to be something. They're going to have a different equivalent, like an igloo or something. There's always an igloo.
Because in Atomic Heart, there is literally a lighthouse you go in and like it's an elevator or some shit. It's crazy.
Gotcha.
And the last one, kind of last but not least, I would say, would be Starfield. We got a big deep dive, a whole like extended look at Starfield, and that game looks like it's trying to compete with Tears of the Kingdom as far as just stuff the game. Whether it will be quality and as intriguing, we'll see. But we're finally getting that in September. What did you think of Starfield, Mike?
They finally kind of sold me on it, which I'm glad they did. I want to check it out. I thought the gunplay stuff looked so much better than anything they've had in Fallout. I've never played Fallout 76. I don't know if they've kind of been improving on it, but just from what they showed, it looked like just the animations and just the fluidity of movement and in combat, because it was those Fallout games, it's kind of a stiff, like, rock fight at times with the combat. And the absurd bigness of it, man, I don't know what to think about that. Like when they say 1,000 planets, to me, that's not a that's not a check mark I want to see on a game anymore. Personally, somebody does, but yeah, I want to see if they can pull off maybe 20% of those planets being interesting. Is that fair? I don't know what someone's expectations should be for that even. Like
It's absurd.
I don't know. Yeah, like if I go on a planet and it's just a palette swap of another planet I've seen, that's immediately gonna bum me out, I think. If I'm not finding something cool, Zelda has a ton of shit, but I'm always finding some. I'm always getting a Korok or a piece of equipment or a weapon or something like a cool boss fight or something. If Starfield can do that to that level, then it beats Tears of the Kingdom probably. I don't think they can pull it off, but I don't know. Where are you guys' hype level for it fully?
Well, Kayla, I think you should take it. You love Skyrim, you loved Fallout 4, and this is that kind of direct lineage.
Yes, it is too big for me. It is. I'm not gonna try to. I hope that there's like an obvious. This is the main story. That's what I want to follow with some side quests. I want to just branch out, but still be close to the chest, close to the main story because I want to get better. I want to get stronger. I want to get those cool things. But if it is like Hogwarts Legacy, for example, where you aren't getting things that actually improve what you have, if you're just getting like bullshit the whole time, I'm not gonna be that thrilled.
Yeah. I think right away, one thing that like jumped out at me was you spent a ton of time in Fallout 4's like settlement system. I remember, and it seems like this has a whole similar, but like a blown out version of that. Of like, okay, you can go on any planet, make a home base, build out.
I can take care of like 10 tops, not.
And I think what I want is that I want that to feel essential. Like doing that action, building out a settlement or something, essential to like the story, essential to me getting better and stuff, but not force me to have to do it like on 20 different planets or something. Like same thing with the ship customization. It seems like that is just so deep. Like I can
be into that.
Do insane things with your ship. Everything is like, I forget the term for it, but like anything you do on the outside is reflected on the inside. If you add a pod to the side, that is now a livable environment in the diegetic. Is that? I think that might be the term. But anyway, anything you do in the ship or outside the ship, if you're adding boosters or weapons or whatever, they are reflected fully in its abilities. And when you're inside, it's all there. It's all functional, right? And that's really, really cool. But like, am I going to have to get really good at building a ship in order for that ship to be actually like usable in the game? You think they'll have
an auto build option?
I think their version of that is one of the coolest things that I saw in it was you can basically become a sky pirate or a space pirate or whatever and hijack other ships and like bring them to your fleet or whatever else. That's really intriguing to me because it said like you can either just like talk to them and like disable them and maybe like take them over that way, or actually dock and then like go into the ship, kill the crew or whatever, and then now like that's your ship. That seemed really. Assassin's Creed has played with that a little bit, like Black Flag, but like on a much smaller, like just wood ships or whatever on the sea. Doing it in space seems really intriguing to me. So maybe that's the kind of version of auto build. Like, oh, I see a cool thing, I'm gonna steal it. That kind of thing.
how many times are you going to do that? That's how how long until these things feel stale? I don't know.
Right.
Like Zelda does the thing like where the guy's holding up a sign and you just have to hold up you got to use things around the environment to help him hold up the sign. And that's just a weird little thing that has never felt stale for me. I like doing them every time. I don't know if Bethesda can pull those off to the scale that they're trying to do. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's a big ask, but I was impressed with what I saw. It's just they gotta deliver. I was kind of impressed with Redfall. Coming up to that, and that was apparently just a tremendous turd. So hoping for the best as far as Starfield. Was there anything? So that was like my whole list. But was there anything else before we get on to pod business? Anything else from the showcases?
What did you guys think of Armored Core?
I've played almost every FromSoft game, and mech games have never done it for me, but maybe this is the first. There's a first for everything. Up until recently, I wasn't a FromSoft game. I didn't play any of them as they came out until I think the first one is Bloodborne. You got me on that one, and then I went and played all of them. And it's so. It's kind of like with Capcom. Like when you mentioned Capcom, like you gotta trust them, right? Like so, same idea for me. Yeah. Mech games, Kayla? From software, mech game, anything?
Not for me.
Looks so cool. I think it's gonna fall into that kind of Sekiro pocket where, man, I just couldn't jive with Sekiro, and that's fine. I'm shocked that they got it out. They've got another game out so quick after Elden Ring, and that just means whatever's next is going to come that sooner. So I hope it's cool.
Hope it's Elden Ring DLC. We didn't get that at all mentioned.
Oh yeah, that would have been so cool to see. That must be a Game Award thing, huh?
There you go. Ooh, maybe a drop on that day. That'd be good.
Oh, now we're just building a dream ladder here.
It's got it. I mean, Elden Ring's pretty old at this point, for a From Software game at this point, for a non-DLC added, game, right? Yeah. But overall, I guess overall grades for the games we saw, for the showcases as a whole, for what we have coming the rest of the year, versus what has no dates, or 2024 dates or 2025 dates. Did this build anticipation for the rest of the year overall? I mean, you can kind of start it, Kayla, I suppose. Just general overall thoughts.
I feel like it didn't hit on a lot of those points you just made. I don't feel like I didn't enjoy some of the stuff. I probably have 10 things that interest me. I feel bad saying C, but
hey.
I think I'm gonna give it a C. Why did I give it a letter grade? I don't know. But
That's fine.
Because there is no standard on the Machine of Nonsense.
Nonsense.
Oh, how about you, Mike? A C, a star.
I give it
rating?
a fifth. No, I'm going to echo Kayla a bit. It didn't. I thought the back half of the year was going to be completely just filled out with awesome shit that I was going to like, and besides Alan Wake 2 and Game Pass kind of screws with it, with excitement levels for me a bit, because I'm just Starfield's going to be there. I might not even download it day one. I don't know. We'll see.
You'd rather purchase things.
Well, that kind of, you know what I mean?
No, I do.
like like Zelda. Like I'm all right. I'll give you $200 for that. Like Alan Wake. I'd give you $100. I'll give you $100 Remedy for Alan Wake. That I like. I always kind of like to think of how much would I pay for this thing, and
Mike, they can listen to this pod. I don't want them to charge $100 for Alan Wake 2. Watch out.
it's just a thought that I like, a thought experiment that I do with stuff that I like when I like to purchase things, and when I'm looking out on the rest of the year, there's not a lot of things that I would buy at retail or above.
I think that's valid. I think that's super valid. Yeah, I think there were too many like non-dates given out overall. I'd love to see someone tally out of the 300 plus games that they announced how many were like nebulous 2024 or just no date whatsoever. We got way too many of those. That was my biggest gripe, but I think the second half, when I'm just looking at my sheet here, Avatar, Payday 3, Cyberpunk DLC, Starfield, Jasant, Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, and then for early next year, which kind of doesn't count, but I'll count it, Prince of Persia and Final Fantasy VII Remake. 9 games that I probably will play in the next 10 months-ish, something like that. That's solid. That's cool. I'm okay. 10 games in 10 months or something. All right. That's, and that's, we're going to get release dates on other things, and we're going to get, surprises, just hitting random indies and stuff like that. So
I think you're right.
Yeah.
There's still the Nintendo of it all, too. True. They could just have a direct at any point or not.
Pikmin 4 is going to be a 95, for Kayla.
Yeah.
I think that, like, just the Nintendo good vibes that are going on after Zelda and Pikmin 4 is it's going to be good. Like, I think Kayla's got a winner for sure on that one. Yeah, I don't know. Let's get back more into draft talk then, right?
That's great. Pikmin 4 leads us right into our pod business. So on our next episode, we will be doing a slight redraft of the 2023 video game draft because we've all erred in some of our choices. I looked at our lists, and it looks like it's going to work out that each of us probably picked 2 games that are probably not coming out this year. Either they've specifically said they're not coming out this year, or they just have had no additional information given to us, and chances are that they're not coming out. So I think my proposal is we all drop those 2 games each on our list, and then we do a mini draft. We each we randomize our names, so that's the 3 of us here and Aaron. We randomize our names, and we have 2 rounds of a draft on things that actually have release dates for 2023. What say the 2 of you? Oh, Mike's got big thumbs up. Kayla, any wrinkles to that?
No, I want to do it, but so we can only drop those 2 that you are talking about, 2 that we think aren't coming out.
Or unreleased?
Yeah, I think we could make it. I just looked at it and saw like 2 on each of our lists that I'm very confident are not coming out in 2023. Even like in the draft, on the interface there, Fantasy Critic, it kind of shows like it's a little calendar symbol and an X, for them not thinking they're coming out. I
have 2 of them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So like, it kind of works out to 2 apiece, but we could, if we're not confident, if we still think like, oh, I think this is still going to get this is going to come out on a Nintendo Direct, and I'm going to get this game, so I still want to keep it, or or even if we want to
I like
expand
it.
further to 3 games or something, to where like, because now we have some more information. Like I'm down to play around here. None of us have had more than 6, I think, games come out total. So all of us have at bare minimum 4 yet to be released on our list, and some of us have even more than that. So
Mine doesn't have any calendar X's.
right, because I think they just like haven't confirmed like a 2024 or 2025 date on yours, but yeah, there were at least 2 on your list that I was like, I don't know about these.
Yeah, I like getting rid of them and trying something else that hasn't been released yet, right? We have to pick another game that hasn't been released yet.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. We're getting a little mulligan here.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, and that's 3 of us out of the 4. So Aaron gets vetoed on whatever he wanted to. Maybe he wanted to have 2 empty slots, 2 zeros in his list. I don't know.
we have to take, if it's a game that already came out, we got to take our L if we're not happy with that aspect of it.
Yes, you cannot drop Redfall. Yes.
Okay.
You cannot drop Redfall. We have to take our L's. I think
Because a 0 is better than a -11, so I'd rather have Rebirth than.
I think
That's
we should
just
have to take
11
our
points. That's 11 points right there. That's an 80 or so. That's a high pick.
That's a big swing.
No, I like the idea. But I thought we were only going to do like one swap.
I know we did originally say that that only one would be eligible like mid-year or something. It just worked out that way, that like by mid-year we each have like 2 that probably aren't coming out. So I felt like, and that makes for a little bit more, having a 2-round draft is just more fun than a 1-round draft, you know?
I feel you. Sure.
Yeah. And hey, maybe on the day of, we do decide, Kayla can drop. What was your negative bad one?
Forspoken.
Yeah, Forspoken, and maybe there's something that I want to drop, and then we do a 3-round draft. More rounds is always more fun, you know?
No, I don't think we can go up to 3. I'll put the boot there.
Okay, I dig it. So there we go.
Or
We're redrafted. We're just redrafting the whole thing. You can only keep your 90s, and then everything else is gone. Yeah, I don't know that I have any. All right, so that'll be episode 131 of the Machine of Nonsense. We are going to redraft 2 rounds of our 2023 video game draft that we did way back on episode, who knows, way back early this year. Fantastic. So this was episode 130. We talked all about the summer of gaming. IGN, I think, TM that one. We're gonna get a cease and desist from them. A lot of showcases, a lot of games, over 300 games were shown, and we liked several of them. So, you know what you can do. Go to social media. We're at The Machine of Nonsense all over. If you want to drop us a line, you can do so at our email address, which is themachineofnonsense@gmail.com. And we are also reachable via voicemail at anchor.fm/machine of nonsense. We'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know on social media what stood out for you. What are you most anticipating the rest of the year? We've had an insane first 6 months of this year. We will be talking all about that in our mid-year Naughties discussion. That'll probably be episode 132 of The Machine of Nonsense. No promises, but we're 6 months in, and we've gotten a lot of good stuff. So that'll be coming up pretty soon. That's it. That is episode 130 of The Machine of Nonsense. I was your host, Eric, joined with Kayla and Mike. We're getting out of here, and we're saying video games. See ya.
Draft.
Enjoy your gaming.